Hey, welcome back to Dad Life Chess. This is Joel. Do not be shocked. You are not seeing things. This is the second video I have posted in less than a year and a half. That's kind of the standard, has been for a while. But if you didn't catch the first game, go back to that. Go back and watch the last video to see what happened in the first game. But to get you up to speed here, I kind of retired from online, over the board rated chess. I started a chess club about a year and a half ago, Clovis Chess Club here in the Central Valley of California. And I enjoyed running the tournaments, and I kind of didn't really have any incentive to play. Life got busy, yada, yada, yada. Excuses, probably because I was just trying to hold on to my even 1800 rating. But as I've heard from many players, many people, you've got to just get back in and play. Well, this one wasn't my ideal situation. We were playing a quad. I was running the tournament, a quads tournament. After the first round, one of the players decided to withdraw from the tournament, and that left us with 3 players, which is very difficult to run a quad with 3 players. So in order for everybody to enjoy themselves, I thought I would jump in. Played the first round against Gary, 1700 player. If you didn't catch that one, go watch it. I had the black pieces against the dreaded Black Mardamir Gambit. In the third round, all the pairings are set before the quad starts, but the third round you will draw for color, the color of pieces. I was lucky to get white in this game. Arvin is a very strong player. It's kind of funny because I've been playing against Arvin for years. He's a teenager. His peak rating is 2005, which was just a few months ago. He kind of has gone up and down recently, but he is a very strong player. I remember when he first started playing and I played him over the board. He was a very young man, and he was probably in about the 1,000 range. And I don't know, it's crazy how quickly these kids improve, and Arvin has put in the work. He's a very strong player. Coming into the third round, Arvin had won both of his games, and he was on pace to win the quad. So a draw would give him the win of the quad. He'd have 2.5 points. A win would give him clear first with 3. A loss, things are up in the air. So let's see what happens. I had the white pieces, and if you know me, you know I'm playing d4, and he played knight f6. I'm going for the London system. He played c5, and actually, to be honest with you, I was thinking, oh no, this is going to become a theoretical travesty. Now, there's a lot of moves you can play here. One of them is actually d takes here. There's some lines that I've looked at. I don't really like those. Kind of plays into black's hand. d5 is a move. You kind of get almost kind of a old Benoni. It's supposed to be the best. I don't play those positions well. This is something that you should probably, as you get into chess and as you improve, and maybe I'm speaking to the dads, the adults out there, the moms that don't have a lot of time to study chess, you kind of have to find your strengths and press into those. My strength is not this opening. I've tried to play the Benoni style openings as white, and I don't know. Maybe I need coaching. So if you know the right lines, the right videos, I've just not felt good in them. So I decided to play e3 here. I had thought about playing c3, which I think maybe was better, could have been better. Practically, it's not great because in this position, I think black can just play here. And if I go something like this, takes, and here, threatening this, it's just annoying. Okay, so that's why I don't normally play c3. I may look into this line because with c3, black has to know exactly what he's doing to play and to get the best move, and to get the best position. But I didn't. I decided for e3, and then my opponent grabbed his knight and played here, and I thought, oh boy, here we go. I think this is the Agamater's London refutation or something like that. I drop my bishop back, and I believe the line goes here, or takes here, takes, and then queen b3. But my opponent played e6, and to be honest with you, I was a little bit surprised. The best move is probably for me to play c4, and now just looking at it on the board, I don't know why I didn't. Forced back, I can play even d5. Oh wow, I just have d5 because it's just, you have this, and then you're, I don't know why I didn't play that. This is much better. Yeah, you have, you just seem to be in a better position. It's kind of in that same kind of Benoni structure, and maybe that's what I didn't really want to get into. So when he played e6, I thought to myself, at least we didn't get into these weird lines where white plays c4 and there's a take on b2, and it just gets messy. And quite honestly, I'm thinking on a practical level. Again, I'm an adult. I don't have a lot of time to study openings. My theory is rusty, if non-existent. I'm playing against a young scholastic player who's improving rapidly, and Arvin will be a master one day. I almost guarantee if he continues in chess, he has improved so much in the last couple of years. I was looking at his rating graph. It's like straight up. Or where's the camera here? So when I saw him play e6, I was actually happy. I played c3. I have my London pyramid. This knight seems like it's just out of place, right? And I thought to myself, okay, I'm just going to get my pieces developed. We're just going to play a solid game. At this point, my opponent takes. I was expecting that. I thought, okay, that's not uncommon. Takes, plays knight c6, and I play knight f3. I didn't want any kind of, I'm just fighting for the e5 square. Basic, simple, logical chess. My opponent plays bishop e7, and I play knight bd2. He plays b6. Okay, so at this point, I'm thinking, okay, now we can't play here, but he is going to get his bishop on this very long diagonal, and potentially can be a problem long term. I wasn't too worried about it because at this point, I thought, okay, same. We're just kind of in a typical London structure, except if this knight was over here. This is literally something I've seen countless times in my online blitz games or whatever. So I play bishop d3, just getting my pieces developed. Very common theme in the London system is the h7 square. So my opponent at this point plays bishop to b7, getting his bishop on this long diagonal. And I didn't really want to castle until my opponent castled. I don't know why that is. There's no reason or rhyme or reason not to. But I had another move I could play, so I played queen e2. And then my opponent played f5. Quite honestly, it kind of surprised me. And if you watch the last game, you'll understand. I'm very rusty at this point over the board. I play a lot of blitz online. I play some rapid at our club casually, some blitz with some players. But before this tournament, the longest game I had played is 10 minutes. So I'm just rusty. I'm not seeing things. And I didn't even think of f5 as a move. So my opponent plays f5. He's threatening to play f4, trapping my bishop. But I don't want that to happen. So Stockfish is saying to play c4 here. I was kind of worried about stuff like this, but in reality, I just back up, push, and now I got a really strong center. This was probably my best choice, practical choice. Knocks the knight out of the way. This is no longer a threat. Then I have ideas. These knights here coming in here, a lot of different things. Bishop's still going to be powerful on this long diagonal. I played instead knight to e5. So coming in here, I played knight e5, thinking that if, like for instance, if they were to push here, losing my bishop, right? Blocking my bishop. This is actually checkmate in 4. Check, take here. Oh, actually, I can just take check here. H takes check here and there. Check. I was looking at it in the game with the knight takes, but same thing. But bishop takes is threatening. Is you might say it's quite deadly. So obviously can't do that. Can't play the pawn here, or that slides out. My opponent instead castles. Okay. And I decide to play f4. Now, this was probably the point in the game where I began to lose the thread. I was feeling pretty confident up to this point that I was doing decently well. F5 kind of threw me, didn't know what to do with the structure. I was kind of worried about the pawns coming in. Hindsight, I shouldn't have worried about it. But playing F5 was F4 was a blunder, was a mistake, definitely a mistake. I'm going to give it a question mark. My opponent plays the correct move, taking. I looked at queen takes. The point is anything here, this pawn is kind of weak, and maybe keeping the e file open would have been better. I then looked at d takes, but I thought to myself, this bishop's going to be blocked in. It's going to cause problems. So instead, I played the worst of all 3 options. Option number 1. Option number 2, I did the worst. And this begins the downfall for me. So my opponent plays what I kind of saw as a possibility, but I thought there was a refutation. Matter of fact, my next move, I gave a mental exclamation point, but then had to scratch that off and give it a hard, not mental, a written double question mark. The reason is my opponent played bishop h4. Now, a tricky move. I don't want to take and get his queen in here. Things just do not. This is not the party. I'm not inviting Black's queen into this party in this position, and this knight's coming in. Not what I signed up for. Stockfish says you can survive it. I am not Stockfish. So I thought to myself, he made a mistake. I am going to attack his bishop, and if he takes, now I have the open H file for the attack. Well, the only problem with queen h5 is queen h5 is a blunder. Now, I had seen a move that I thought Black could make, kind of a cute move. I thought Black could play here, right? Well, if I get really excited and I just decide I'm going to take this bishop, check to the queen and the king, and now I'm dead lost. So I was expecting this move, thinking, oh, no problem. I can just put the question to the knight, and then the knight has to do something. Probably go here, I go here, and now bishop could go back, but I was expecting takes, maybe here. I don't know. I just felt like this is going to be fine. Now, Stockfish says Black is doing better, and this is not the kind of position I want to be in, but I thought to myself, I can get out of this. The problem with this analysis, and it shows the probably the lack of calculation I have been doing, like 0 in the last year and a half, because I'm just used to playing Blitz and doing the repetitions in Blitz. And hey, I will tell you this, playing Blitz I think is actually good for your chess. I think it gets a bad rap sometimes, but if you want to get better in over the board chess, you got to play longer games. and do a high level calculation. I've just been lazy. My opponent found a phenomenal move, knight to h4, and even Stockfish says amazing move. Look at this move. If I didn't have my next move, game over. He is attacking, forking my queen and my bishop with check, okay? And there's no way to bring my queen to rescue this bishop. I actually looked at this move and thought, resigns. It's over. Because if I take here, same knight takes, right? But I did have this resource. Bishop takes h4. Now I'm attacking the queen. And if he takes the queen, I take here. And, you know, it's kind of sort of even. I can bring my king up here to guard this pawn from this long diagonal. I thought, okay, life is good. Now, this is a good place to pause the video if you want to try to figure it out. You may have already seen Black's best move. Black actually has quite a few moves. It kind of shows the power of Black's position. Black can simply just play Queen c7. Wait. This queen, this bishop is still under attack, and it's just going to get dicey. Matter of fact, this position is so bad that Stockfish says the best move in this position is to give up the queen. Allow here and here, here and there. And then, honestly, you could resign. But that's the best, like, of all the losing positions Stockfish could come up with, that was the best one. Queen c7, if Queen c7 would have been played in the game, I don't know what I would have done. I probably would have done something like this. But now after takes, king, there's nothing that's good, nothing that looks good. I think I would have played here. But then I don't think I would have seen this, but Stockfish surely did. That's just, the best move in this position for white is to resign, shake hands, and be on with your day. However, after I took on h4, my opponent thought for some time and ended up playing a move that gave me a little bit of hope. Completely losing, but not lost. My opponent actually took, with check, the bishop. I have to take back. He takes with check. I bring my king up. He takes here. Now my rook is under attack. I am now down, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm down a pawn, but my position's really kind of like Swiss cheese. These guys are just going to be deadly. It's going to be very hard to hold this position. I get my rook out of the fire of Black's bishop here, and my opponent plays h6, trying for g5, solidifying his position, trying to eliminate counterplay. I played knight c4. At this point, I'm kind of resigned to the fact that I'm going to lose this game, but we're going to give it a try. My opponent plays, my opponent plays g5. I play knight d6, put a threat to the bishop. I thought, well, let's do something, right? I'm kind of like stuck. I can't really move. I wanted to move my rooks over here, but then this knight, you know, with the bishop being, so I was like, I really had no plans. I was very, it's kind of shooken up from the blunders and kind of thinking I had a good game, and then the f5 push, and then things just kind of fell apart. I just lost the thread. My opponent played bishop c6. I then played bishop b5, almost like automatic. The truth is, I'm not really, and this is bad, don't do this, but I thought, well, I'm kind of losing. I'm just going to try for tricks. I'm getting up on time. My opponent's getting a little bit into time trouble, not like severe time trouble, but I think I have twice as much time as he does. So evidently in this position, the best move for me was to play something like b4. And the idea is I'm going to get some counterplay on the queen side, and that probably was the best. But I wanted to get rid of this bishop. Again, probably a bad idea. I'm down material. My opponent wisely takes. Okay, I take back. And then my opponent plays f4. I did not like this move. The computer says it's okay. Black's still winning. But he gives me a square to work with. I'm trying to get some breathing room here. I want to get my rooks here. I want to get my rooks, doubled up, perhaps get some pressure on the king. If I can get this pawn push to try to, attack that the pawns that are kind of fortressed in front of the king. That was my idea. My only idea. I played rook g4. My opponent played knight f5. I almost played here, which would be a blunder because of this, and I'm going to lose this here, and things are just ouch town. It's just not good. That rook is basically stuck. So I'm sorry, my opponent played knight f5. I wonder what I played next. So I played knight d6. My idea is to route this knight into this square and, get some counterplay. I played this move knight d6, and my opponent was thinking, and my opponent thought for a little while on this move, and all I was doing is trying to calculate. He's going to go here. I'm probably going to drop back. I'm going to try to get this move in. There's a chance, a hope, and a prayer. And I don't know if you've ever done this while you're playing over the board. You just get board blindness. You totally don't see what's happening on the board. And so I kind of was like looking around, and then I looked back at the board, and I noticed something that I didn't notice when I moved the knight there. I didn't notice when I was analyzing while the knight was there, that these little knights are looking at each other. And I was like, wait, he can take my knight. I was like, oh dear. Now he's going to take my knight. He's going to get his rook here. And things are just going to start falling apart. He saw it, evidently, unlike me, and takes. I was thinking, this is lost. This is absolutely lost. These pawns are going to be so powerful. So at this point, I was expecting my opponent to kind of move out of the way, bring his rooks over. He played b5. And I'll be honest with you, I was quite surprised with that move. I would say that b5 was probably a mistake. Stockfish would agree. But I thought, now it just allows me to play h4. My opponent plays rook f5. And I just play rook h to g1. Now, things are just going to start falling apart. And I'm feeling pretty confident. Now, Stockfish still gives Black just a minuscule advantage, 0.2 or something. But essentially, this is a drawn position. I think I had 20 minutes left, and my opponent had, I think, a little under 10 minutes. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I had more time. Not a time scramble. I think my opponent saw the trajectory of the game, and right here, my opponent offered me a draw after I made my move. I thought for a few seconds, looked at him, and happily accepted the draw. Arvin is arguably a much better chess player than me. And he had a completely winning position, missed a few critical moves in the critical positions, and allowed me to get some counterplay. So I was thankful for the draw, to get a win and a draw in my first over the board tournament play in almost a full year. I was thankful. I think I'll actually gain some rating points from this tournament rather than losing them, which I was fully expecting. But I would say the best thing about this tournament is twofold. Best, the better, the bestest things. The things that came out of this tournament, first of all, I realized ratings don't matter. I like playing over the board. I don't know if I'll play in all the tournaments. I run the tournaments, so being a tournament director and playing is not always easy. But I'll probably play more. Who cares about the rating? I enjoyed it. I like these shorter time controls for over the board. I'm not really into like the 2 hour, 40 moves and then like 6 hours. And then if you make your 80th move, you get to play the next day or something like that. And you have to like use correspondence chess to complete it. I don't know. They're long. So I like the shorter, time controls. Do the tournament all in one day, a quad or 4 rounds. So I enjoyed them. I like the thinking, the battle over the board. So I enjoyed that. And it kind of inspired me to record videos. So here we are. Maybe I'll start recording more. Maybe I'll make this a habit. Who knows? Well, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like the video, subscribe, tell your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers, everybody. Everybody is into chess now. If you just tell all your coworkers, say, hey, follow Dad Life Chess. They'll be like, Dad Life, what? But hey, conversation. You have a great day. We'll talk to you later.